Oh my God. Hi everyone. This week is going to be a bit of a friends quote week, taking my inspiration from this gorgeous The Ink Road stamp set. So let's jump in. Okay, so this whole week is dedicated to this stamp set. Yeah, I know it's a bit ridiculous to well, actually, I did it with the P's, didn't I? So perhaps it's okay. This is a stamp set from the Ink Road. It's called The One With All the Stamps, I think is what it's called. And it's all Friends references. I love Friends. I don't know how many thousands of times I've seen it. But I quote it constantly. And so when I saw this, I just had to have it. So it's here. It's taken about a month, but that's okay. It did come from the States, so that's allowed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, just to give you a sort of rough idea of what I'm planning here, I'm going to ink blend both my pages purple, and I'm just going to do the outside because that's where I want it to be. And that's kind of because if you think about Friends, the house, like the house is purple, the picture frame is purple, so that's why I'm going with purple. And then if you think of the logo of Friends, it's got the letters F-R-I-E-N-D-S with some coloured spots in between them. So I'm going to do little squares, and I'm going to Distress Ox or ink blend them in the yellow, blue and red that are those colours. So that's my sort of plan here. I don't know if it's going to work. We're going to give it a go, and then we'll put bunches of the stamps on as well to kind of make it all go together. So I'm going to start off with a little bit of baking paper, and this is just so I have something so it's kind of slippery to work on behind this. So like I said, I'm just going to do sort of around the outside and roughly in the middle because there is going to be a slight gap between my squares. So this one's Wilted Violet, and I'm just starting off and just bringing it on. I'm going to speed this up in a second. I'm going to do just the first little bit, and then I'll speed it up because this is going to take a little while. I'm just doing the one colour. I don't have another purple unfortunately, but I could add some other colours into this. I don't think I need to. I think it'll be fine just the way it is. This is a pretty vibrant shade of purple, so I figure it's okay. So I'm just going to bring that all the way down and all the way around the page, and then just a little bit sort of in the middle. I'll sort of do two lines. You'll see in a second as I'm going along. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up, and I'll be right back. It's very messy, and that's okay because we're going to fix it all up afterwards. So I'm going to jump over. Just going to grab a piece of plain white paper. This is smooth paper though, so it's going to be a little bit easier for the ink to blend over it. And I need 4 of each square on each page, so I need 8 of each square. So basically what I'm going to do is just ink blend one, not whole page, probably about half the page, to get each of the colours. So I'm going to use Fossilized Amber for the yellow, Broken China for the blue, and Fired Brick for the red. I'm going to go ahead and do this super fast. I've also just made a mess, but that's okay. I'm just going to flip it over and use the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and do this super fast, and I'll be right back. So I've got my 3 colours down. By the way, how cool does that look? For anyone that's an AFL fan like me, no, they're not Crows colours. They are, but they're not. They are. Anyway, I'm also just going to add just a little bit of water to these, just to add a little bit of texture. It's one of my favourite ways to use the oxides. So I'm just going to grab... I was going to do them all at once and I thought that's not a good idea. So I'm just going to grab a little water bottle. and just spritz a little bit of water and then just blot it off with a tissue. Paper towel's actually probably easier, but I have tissues handy, so we'll just use tissues. So do the same thing on all 3 of the pages. So then we're going to cut these down. I'm actually just going to really quickly hit these with the heat tool because they're just damp. They're not wet, but they're just damp. So I'm just going to do that really, really fast. I'm also really quickly just going to hit this with a bit of water as well, just so that the background's got the same kind of finish. But I'm not going to hit this one with the heat tool. I'm just going to leave it to dry because while I'm doing the rest of it, that should dry off. Okay, so I'm going to grab in my paper trimmer, and just to sort of show you, these spaces are about 4.5, or they are exactly 4.5 centimeters, and this one, when you add it all up together, it's about 4.3 will get me 3 boxes. So I'm going to cut these into 4.3 centimeter squares, and that way I should be able to get all of the squares I need. So like I said, I need 12. I may need to put some more, I think, but I'm going to give it a shot. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut all of these. I'm just going to use the guide on my trimmer to do this, so I don't have to get out a ruler and mark everything. So I'm just lining that up at 4.3, just making sure it's straight. And then we'll just cut that one. Yeah, we might need to do another one. We'll just see. Might just need to add a little bit of ink to the bottom of this one. That's right, I'll use the other side first. And then, so they're 4.3 high, so then we need to cut them to 4.3 wide. Now these they're not perfectly cut, but they're pretty close. Just to save me the time, I'm just going to cut them all at once. That way at least I know they're the same width. Just going to tap these to line them all up. I can hear some of you screaming at me already. Don't do it, don't do it. Doesn't matter if they're not perfectly the same size. I feel like I need to oil my trimmer. It's making too much noise. If you're really worried about them moving around, this is my little tip. Grab a clip and it'll hold still, where they don't wiggle around as much. The only downside is that then you've got it's a little bit harder to flick them in the spaces here, but that's all right. The ones on the end are only 4, so that's okay. So they should all now be 4.3 by 4.3 squares, or at least pretty damn close. And they're all okay. So I'm just going to do the exact same thing with my yellow and my red, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I've got all of my squares cut up and they actually look really cool. So what we're going to do, just so you guys get an idea of what I'm doing here. So I'm going to stick these down, and this is why I was a little bit not worried about where I was putting the purple, because I can always go back and add a little bit more purple if I need to. And I'm just trying to decide if I'm going to mix up the colours. What do you think, Ryan? Mix up the colours? Ryan says mix up the colour. So it's going to stick in like this. Pretty simple, really. It does look really cool. It does look really cool. I didn't think I'd like this anywhere near as much as I do. It definitely doesn't have anything to do with Friends yet, but I'll fix that. So that's where it's all going to go. And then I'm going to stamp along the top with these cute little little pictures. So you've got a little picture frame and everything. So I'm going to stick these down first, and then I'm going to do the other page because I just realised I haven't done that yet. So I'm going to stick these all down and then do that, and then we're going to start stamping. Alright, so that's what it looks like once I've got all of those bits done. It kind of looks like a patchwork quilt, doesn't it? Which actually, if you remember, there was a quilt in one of the episodes of Friends, so maybe I can go with that. But before we start putting all our Friend stamps on, we just need to put our days of the weeks back in. So I'm just grabbing my Plan On It, these are the Lawn Fawn Plan On It calendar stamps. And I'm just grabbing my VersaFine ink. I'm using VersaFine because I'm not blending over anything now. And this is just a little bit darker. But I am going to move the days of the week around just a little bit. So, because I've got basically a blank canvas, I can put them wherever I like. I'm going to do that. So, I'm going to grab my Monday. I'm also just going to grab my little stamp cleaner. Get it a little bit damp. And my acrylic block. So I'm going to go Monday. I don't know. I'm just going to stamp away. I need to work out what date it is though. What date is it? It's the 14th. And I think I'll use the circles just because they'll save me a little bit of time here. So I'm just going to do the 14th. So I'm just going to put them on the top. I'm going to not put my hand in the ink. That sometimes helps. Just because I haven't used this ink in a little while, I'm just going to do a couple of practice stamps on some scrap. I'm just going to line that up. Try not to get my head in the shot, but I'm not going to do a very good job. And then put the date in. I'm just going to repeat this all down the page. The stamping in the dates does take a little bit longer, but I think it has a really cool effect. So it's kind of fun to do every once in a while. Okay, so all of my days of the week are in. So now we're going to grab out the Friends. I know I've been going for a long time, but hopefully it'll all be worth it eventually. So I'm going to grab, I love the smell of new stamps. I'm going to get the lobster. And what I'm going to kind of do is put these, I'm going to get this piece of paper to protect it. Kind of randomly put these, not everywhere, but sort of everywhere there's purple. And I'm just going to go straight over the October. I'm just going to ignore it. I'm not doing all the lobster. This is just the cutest little lobster though. Like, just check this out. Hold on. Oh, he's so cute. He's our lobster.
See? He's our lobster.
Yeah, I'll quote it all day if I was given the choice. So I'm just going to randomly sort of put these around the page. It doesn't matter if they go onto the squares, but just sort of a bit of a random pattern. And they can go off the page and they can go any way. I'm just going to kind of move them around a little bit. I'm just going to leave them on my desk while I'm doing this. So I've got a little Tyrannosaurus as well. So this is obviously for Ross. Obviously for Ross. Who, as I've watched Friends more and more... Oh, no. I thought I got my finger on it. I didn't. Whew. As I've watched Friends more and more, I like him less and less. But that's okay. I'm just going to stay off the side just for now. I might come back and do that afterwards. And because this ink is so black, it really does go straight over that October. So we've got the little coffee cup. I'm just going to show you guys each of these sort of once, and then I'll speed through the rest of this. So I'm going to finish, oh no, hold on, I've got a couple more little things to show you. So I've got a little guitar. The only one I'm not going to put on fully is the couch. That's because I'm going to do something cool with the couch. So I've got the little guitar. And what else have I got? I think I've got one of the picture frames. I've got a bride. I don't quite understand the bride reference. Is that Rachel from the very first episode? Yeah, I'll go with that. Oh, that is such a good stamp. I love when you get absolutely perfect impressions. It just makes me very, very happy. Alright, so then I'm just going to fill in the rest of this. And I'm going to do the other side super quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, so that's all that bit done. I have made a complete and utter mess of this, but that's alright. I think I've said that about 1,000 times too. Just going to try and clean my hands just a little bit. So then we're going to add in some of the quotes, which will finish this off because it already looks a little bit more Friends-ish now, but we need to really fix it up. And then the last thing I'm going to do is stamp out I'm going to do it now really quickly. I'm just going to stamp out one of the couches. I'm just going to do it in Memento because I'm going to colour it in with my alcohol markers. So I'm just getting that down first, and then we'll go and do all of our quotes. I'm actually going to use my Memento for the rest of the quotes. I just prefer it to the VersaFine now. I just find the VersaFine gets everywhere. It's a little bit darker, but it kind of gets in the way. So I have so many quotes here. So I'm going to try and get as many of them on here as I possibly can. Yes, it's going to look busy. That's kind of the point. It's kind of the point. Now these are brand new stamps, so every time I'm just going to stamp it on a piece of scrap paper first, just to help it out. I love this one. Now I need to remember that I still need to write in here. So I'm going to just use sort of one, I think I'll do like one box per line. So that should do it. So this one's, it's all a moo point. It's like a cow's opinion. It doesn't matter. It's moo.
Right? Because if he doesn't like you, this is all a moo point.
Huh. A moo point?
Yeah. It's like a cow's opinion. It just doesn't matter. It's moo.
This is one of my favourite Joey quotes. Maybe Joey's my favourite, I don't know. So I'm kind of, actually before I do this, I'm going to kind of get out the ones I want. So this one's Plum. I don't even have plan. Don't even have a Plum.
Phoebe, what? Do you have a plan? I don't even have a plan.
This tastes like feet.
It tastes like feet.
We were on a break. Have to do that one.
We were on a break.
You're my lobster. I'm just lining them. These aren't going to stay where they are, but smelly cat.
Smelly cat, smelly cat.
Unagi.
Unagi.
Ah, salmon skin roll.
And I got pivot.
Here we go. Pivot. 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 Pivot.
I feel like I need to put I'll be there for you somewhere as just an extra. So I'm just going to take it off, but I'll work out where to put it afterwards. So the pivot, I'm actually going to put that on more than once because that deserves almost a whole square of its own. So I've gone there, there. So I'm just going to do the pivot in here. Alright, thankfully I've got 50 million of these that I can replace this one with. So I'm just going to peel this up. The fact that we just tore that doesn't matter because we're going to put this straight back over the top. The only downside is we've obviously done this over the top, so we'll work something out in a minute. The only downside to using stamps, in my opinion, is you can do things like that so easily where you just lose your grip and it just goes everywhere. But I think it'll still be okay because it'll still look, it just looks like the stamps go behind it instead of in front of it. Should be alright. So I'm still going to use this one. I'm just going to flip it around. The problem I've got with it is that I try to keep it flat. There we go. I had it in the wrong side. There's a little bit of a mark just there, but it's actually come off really easily with the eraser, so it's okay. So I've got this tastes like feet. And then on the top here, what was I going to put on the top? I feel like I've lost one. I'll come back to that side. I think it was we were on a break. I think I lost something when I was mucking around. I'll find it in a sec. So then we've got unagi. Now these would be really cute on a card too. Like you can use it any way you like. The more, there it is. I feel like the more you love Friends and the more you kind of lean into this, the better it'll be. But I just think it's awesome. And I know that Ink Road has a bunch of different kinds of ones. I know they've got a Legally Blonde one. I think they have a Clueless one. So it just depends on sort of which era of TV you enjoy. Plan. I don't even have a plot. Now I'm kind of going over these sometimes, which is okay. And I'm actually gonna, I just saw another, it's not a picture, it is a quote. But I didn't use it anywhere along here, and I'm gonna just chuck it in, which just says, it's just, oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Lucky bastard. No one here even knows you.
Oh my god.
Oh, come on!
I just want to add it in here on its own because it's special. So then I've got Smelly Cat. Again, I'm keeping in mind that I do still need to write in here. I don't think I'm going to. But I do still have to put things in, so we can use the other room to do that. So then we've got Where We're on a Break. And then I'm going to really quickly, and I mean really quickly, colour in this couch and cut it out. I'm just going to snap straight to it because you guys don't need to see it. Okay, so I've got my little Friends couch here. I've just coloured it in with my alcohol markers. I've just used 23 orange and 21 terracotta, which gives me this kind of orange brown kind of colour, and I'm just trying to work out where I'm going to put it, because I know I want it, I just don't know where. I always seem to put things on Sunday because I don't have a lot on. I'm going to put it on Monday. I'm going to put it on Monday. I'm just covering it in glue. I'm going to put it up here. Just to add, it's just a little pop. Although I'm just going to make sure I don't cover the smelly cat. Alright, so now we just need to put in put in things I actually need to do. I didn't have too much, thank goodness, this week. But I do have a couple of birthdays. I'm not going to put in, usually I put in a balloon or something. I'm just going to write it in. It also gives me room to write in like stuff that's going on with the house and stuff. Then I'm just going to turn these two, so I'm just going to have this one down here is going to be Happy Mail, and this one's going to be To Do. Occasionally my own handwriting doesn't drive me bonkers. I'm just looking at it. What's it missing? What's it missing? What's it missing? I really want to put the I'll Be There For You stamp in. I really do, and I don't know where I want to put it. Okay, it needs to go on this side because this side's the only side that feels empty enough. Oops, right, it was going there because that was where I kind of accidentally put it. So that'll go. That's better. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that. There are things about this that I really love. I love the distress background. I think that looks really cool. I love that I've used basically just stamps the whole way through here to decorate it. I don't like that I switched inks. I should have stayed either with the VersaFine or the Memento because there is a really obvious difference between the colours, which is kind of bothering me a little bit, but I will get over it. I do love the idea of just using the stamps though, and these quotes are so fantastic. They just make me really happy, so I'm going to enjoy just looking at this week, which is not always something. Like, again, if you do it and you don't like it, what's the worst that can happen? It's just going to sit there for a week and then you get to flip the page and do something different next week. But how can you hate friends quotes? Honestly. But please let me know what you think. You can leave it down below for me, or you can find me on any of my socials. If you did like this one, please give it a thumbs up so I know you enjoyed it. And let me know too if you'd like to see me do more stamping in my planner, like whole stamp weeks or stuff like that. I'm really happy to do it, and I have plenty of stamps now, so I can. So let me know down below or in any of my socials. Don't forget that my advent calendar giveaway is going along. I will link that video for you down below as well, so you can check that out. Other than that, guys, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic week, and I will see you again in my next video. Sending lots of huggles. Bye!